People often think that if you ignore your 3D reality or you don't acknowledge and try and resolve whatever you're seeing there, especially with your specific person, that it means nothing's happening, nothing positive is shifting. But it's kind of the opposite, because the moment you start ignoring your 3D reality, your SP responds to that. Today, that is what we are going to be talking about. This is going to be a video all about what happens and the actual impact and effect of your 3D reality, because I often talk about, why you should be ignoring it, how to ignore it, but this is going to be actually, what happens and how does that interact with your SP manifestation? What is your SP actually going to respond to that with? So there is a lot to get into in today's video, so stay tuned to follow through all the way to the end, because I always have so many different points to touch on in my videos with you guys. And yeah, if you're a new viewer, welcome. I would love for you to become a subscriber, potentially a member. If you enjoy my content and you find value, which I'm sure you guys will, then you can join my membership. All the extra info of everything that I offer as a coach will be on screen and in the description box. There's also a button right below the screen where you can join just for 1 month if you want as a member. So yeah, take a look if you're interested, and now let's start the video. When you do stop reacting to what you see, you're no longer feeding into the old version of your reality, meaning the old story, the negative assumptions, the lack of what you want. Even if it was just a temporary lack where maybe you were with your specific person, then you broke up with them, you're just not with them, you're not in contact currently, whatever it may be, even if it's just a temporary, current in the recent past and present moment, that's what the 3D has shown. Whatever it is, you're no longer going to be interacting with that old version, the old story, and basically the old version of them. So even like I said, if it was temporary, where they weren't initiating, they weren't communicating for a certain period of time, for example, you're no longer feeding into that. You're not putting your focus in that. It's not your dominant focus. You don't complain to people about it. You don't call up your friends and tell them about it. You don't think about it. You don't analyze it. You don't check up on them online. That's a big thing nowadays. You don't check on their social media. You're not doing all those things. You're just not feeding into and responding to and interacting with your 3D reality. Obviously, if there's something positive, by all means, spend all day reminding yourself of it. But anything negative, and that, is the old version, you're no longer putting your energy into that. So in quantum terms, you're not creating a new person. I've said this before, it's a really good perspective to have and to remind yourself of, because it's not this impossible thing that doesn't exist. You're bringing it out of thin air. Personally, I have religious beliefs, so I like to think of it as also God's guidance and God's support and God having, helped to create any possible result that does already exist. But in quantum terms, that reality is already in existence. So literally with science as well, you can back this up, and in manifestation terms, just think of it as already in existence. So you don't obviously have to follow the same mindset as I do, but I just remind myself that everything already exists. Creation is finished. Creation has already been done. There is no goal or achievement or desire that you have in your mind that you can't achieve, or maybe that you shouldn't achieve. It could be part of your just life path. So everything is already in existence, including the perfect version of your SP. If you truly think this is the person that's right for you, that's best for you, that you have this amazing connection with, and you just know everything is going to be amazing, or has already been amazing, especially if you're just in like a temporary little blip, then you are selecting that version. It already exists. You're not creating this new version of SP out of thin air. In quantum terms, it literally does already exist. So there's a reality where your SP is already that ideal version, the one who commits and loves you and chooses you, all of that. It already is in existence. They can be that version in your physical reality and conform into that. Quick little break. I wanted to talk to you guys about a brand I'm obsessed with lately. I'm partnering with Vivaya, and if you haven't heard of them, they're all about combining comfort and just timeless wearable styles in shoes, and so many amazing pairs to choose from. I will show you guys my picks in just a moment. Anyone interested in fashion will love this little segment, and then we'll be getting back to the normal content. Every pair is actually really sustainable. They're made using recycled plastic bottles, so not only are they sustainable, but they're actually really stylish, and you guys will see in just a second why. First up, the Margot Mary Janes. These are the coziest little flats. They fold in half
and that just shows you how soft and flexible they are. I love the cable knit texture, just absolutely perfect for autumn. The square toe also just gives them a really chic finish. Next is the all-day trainers, my go-to for casual days. They slip on easily, have breathable mesh, and that just helps keep your feet cool and comfy during the day. And there's also an anti-slip sole, which makes them even more practical as well. And it's easy to slip on and off without using your hands. Next up, the Regina Pro boots. These are not your average boots. They're water repellent finish. Perfect, for unpredictable weather, which we definitely have in the UK. And the stretchy knit just really hugs your leg perfectly. I'm obsessed with the low, comfy heel as well. It's just good for every day. And I've also paired a few leg warmers as well. So if you're looking for comfy, sustainable shoes that are actually to look as good as they feel, then definitely check out Vivaya, and I'll be adding my discount code, all the links as well below, so you can check them out.
And you're just selecting that version. So again, you're not trying to change someone, do a 180 shift of who they are, and they're just this person. You have to force a change and it doesn't exist and it's almost impossible. You are just selecting the version of them that you do want. Your energy and focus, therefore, following on from that, when you do select that, focus on that and say, this is what I want. This is the version of my SP that I want. Therefore, I'm going to put my focus on it. Consistency, repetition. I'm going to think of them and imagine and pretend as if they are that version right now. Your subconscious takes that on, and you're telling your mind literally, this is real. This is the version of them that exists. This is the version of them that I have a relationship with. So your subconscious will take that in. Logic doesn't apply. Your subconscious mind takes it in, and that is when it becomes externalized. They will then, because you've stopped reacting to the old version and to the 3D, they will conform into the version that you are focusing on, because they feel that energy, they feel that focus, they connect to it. It might be more subtle, indirect, and on a subconscious level. It's not this, telepathic, conscious, psychic ability where they suddenly get a vision or something like that. It is more subtle, and it comes with the conforming process, but they do connect to it, they do feel it and respond to it. Every single time that you're ignoring the 3D reality and choosing to focus on the new version, on your end result with your SP, you are literally changing the way your mind and body respond to that. As I said, it's with the subconscious. It just takes it in because you've put your focus onto it, and it's literally going to fire and create new neural pathways in your body. So the way your mind and your body respond to each other, the automated reactions, the signals that your brain is receiving, the way you think, all of it to do with your mindset, the internal conforming, all of this is a part of it. It's easy to forget that when you start to feel in a better mood, a better mindset, more balanced, emotionally positive and all these kind of things. That is still part of the conforming process. It doesn't all just have to be this visible movement in front of you. So yeah, your body, your mind is literally going to conform because you've shifted your focus from whatever's going on in the 3D and reacting and constantly looking and trying to analyze to now saying, no, mentally, this is what's real. What I imagine is real. And your mind actually can't even tell the difference. And in terms of, again, kind of the quantum reality, but also just the way the brain works, your reticular activating system, the RAS, is also, as I've gone on in all my videos, starting to filter for evidence of that, wherever you focus it. That's basically a bird before land, I would say. They're kind of the same thing, maybe even a bridge of events. But yeah, it's going to filter and seek out and, look for and actually recognize. For me, it happens naturally. I'll just kind of pick up on it as a habit already. Be like, oh yeah, that's a sign I have my manifestation. Oh look, another thing reminding me of that. So it will start to pick up on and show you examples of your manifestation. So in this context, happy couples, people walking down the street holding hands, more romantic films and content on TV, in adverts, whatever it may be, your friends mentioning things, your social media showing you things. All of these are going to be common ways that your reticular activating system is going to start picking up on anything that reflects what you're manifesting with your SP. And then vice versa, it actually affects them too. So they pick up on all your focus, all your energy. It does start to shift, whether it's a little bit backwards or forwards in your manifestation, where your focus goes. They're probably also going to be getting the same thing. Reminders of you, their reticular activating system will probably be impacted too, where because they're conforming, they might start thinking about you more, dreaming about you more. If they don't know you yet, it could just be things like they are being led to take, a bridge of events inspired action that leads them closer to you, All of these things are literally interconnected. So remember that your belief and their belief and just the permanent, objective, physical reality experience that you have, where you can literally say, I'm with SP, like this is the full end result as I want it to be. The repetition is what starts it. That's what sets it in motion, locks it in place, and then your belief follows on. So you need to kind of believe it before you see it. No, yeah, you need to believe it before you see it, but that belief comes up naturally and it's done through repetition. So as long as you're applying repetition and consistency, the belief will come in on its own. So in terms of a mental diet and basically the way you should be thinking, because this is important, especially with a relationship manifestation, anytime you're reminded of the old 3D story, the old version, the 3D circumstances, because they are irrelevant, remind yourself, that's the old story. It's the 3D is a little delayed, and this is the example. This is proof that the 3D needs a little bit of time to catch up, and I'm still seeing the old movie playing out. I'm gonna wait because the new film that I have bought tickets for is literally gonna be on screen any moment now. Happily Ever After, perfect fairy tale relationship film. It's about to start playing because I've put my focus in. I bought my ticket. The ticket is done. I'm on the way. There's no going back now. I'm creating the new version. This is the old story. You can go on a little rampage there. That was my own little statement that I just thought of. But yeah, you can do a little verbal rampage to remind yourself, doesn't matter. It's the old version. So even when it feels robotic or a little unbelievable, like I said, the belief probably won't come up naturally on its own. You still persist no matter what. Even if it's robotic, you're not fully connected to it, you probably won't really believe it. It might feel kind of illogical and unrealistic, especially at the beginning before your mind does start to think in the new way, where you are still kind of tied into that logical way of thinking, and it's hard to consciously bypass that at the beginning. Even if it's that way, you still remind yourself and reaffirm, this is the version I have of SP now. This is the relationship. This is my manifestation here right now. Whatever I'm seeing there, it's fake. It's fake news, false. It's the old story, that kind of approach. And obviously your SP is a mirror reflection. They have to conform to the relationship that you are assuming and believing that you have with them. So the faster they will conform, if you keep saturating your own mind, applying the repetition, being consistent, meaning persisting every single day, no matter what you may come up, whatever the 3D reality looks like, as long as you don't revert or give up, as long as you put in some effort and persist daily, then your subconscious and their subconscious, obviously it's interconnected when it comes to your relationship and your assumptions there, it's going to conform. They're going to conform more and more. They're going to start to accept it, think differently, feel differently towards you. All of that is going to come about because you no longer are focusing on the circumstances that you subjectively think are holding you back. So remember that you're just focusing on and bringing into your physical experience the reality that you want, because it already exists. The quantum realm has limitless possibilities. Everything has already been created, as we've discussed. There's nothing that you can't achieve. So the version of the relationship you want already exists. You're just selecting that version until it becomes your physical reality now, in your physical experience, in your 3D reality. So you're not ignoring your actual reality. You're just changing the subjective nature of saying, oh, this happened, this conversation came up, SP posted this on social media, here are my negative assumptions, it's just a cycle again. You're no longer focusing on that. You're just choosing a different version of reality. So hopefully that explains everything and was a good video for you guys. I hope you guys gained some extra guidance from that, because it is a good reminder, honestly, to have this as your mindset. And remember that your SP is going to conform as a mirror reflection. Their subconscious will conform more and more, but you need to remove your focus from the 3D if it's not showing you what you want. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave this video here. Hope that was a good reminder for you guys, and I'll see you next time.